Okay, hi Belfast. We are in week 4 of our online learning, and hopefully the Google Slides are working for you. Once again, if you're unsure, you can come into the Google Meet. We have lots of students coming in and asking questions, so feel free to do that. And often I will show students the task and how to do it there. So please drop in if you're having difficulty. All right, so this section is going to be dividing. So let's say you were given a lump sum of money, and so in this case, the example that I'm going to do, let's say you were given $578.46. Okay, and you had to share that with 3 of your friends. You somehow came into some money and you won the lottery of some sort, a small lottery, but still. And so now you have to split it amongst your friends because they, along with you, bought the ticket. So I'm going to show you using the colors from Google Slide how you would do this in your assignment. So I have off to the side here, I have my fractal multiplication, which is in the resource section of your Google Classroom. And because sometimes it's hard to know what's the highest number that you can sort of pull out that can be grouped into threes. So the fractal multiplication, you just grab the number 3 strip, okay, and then you can use that as a reference for this question. So I'm just going to put that off to the side. So, right, because these are bigger numbers, I am going to use the fusion machine. So I'm going to just set that up, and it's going to be a little bit longer this time because it includes all these decimals. Okay, so I'm going to be dividing by 3, and I'm going to have a hundreds section, a tens section, a ones section, and then there's my decimal. So I'm going to make this really dark to show that there's something different going on here. This is where my decimal is. I'm going to put a dot at the top. Okay, and then I'm going to split that because I have tenths and hundredths, okay, as well. So I have 578 and 46 cents, or 4 tenths and 6 hundredths. All right, so now I'm going to just go ahead and try and group each section into groups of 3. So the first one, and my grouping arrow that you'll see on the slide will be in blue, and you're going to use that and say, okay, from 5 I can pull, sorry, I was shaking the thing there, I can pull 3, but then I'm going to have 2 that I have not used. So I'm going to, in my red arrow, explode that back. So those 200 blocks are going to explode into tens blocks. So 200s would make 20 tens. And I already had 7 there, so now I have 27 tens in this section. Okay, so now I can go, I don't know. Let's say I didn't know how much of that could be grouped into 3s. So what I could do is go to my fractal multiplication strip and look down and look for something that is either equal to or less than 27. And it turns out that 27 is actually divisible by 3. So that's great. So I'm going to use all of it. So I will use my blue arrow to show that I'm grouping this amount, and I write my 27. Okay, and in this case, I'm not actually going to be exploding anything back. Right? There's nothing for me to explode back. So, sorry, I'm going to scooch this way a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to use go to, now I just have 8 objects in this compartment, and let's see, 6 of those can be grouped into 3s. Whoops, that's supposed to be in black. 6 of those, and that leaves me with 2 left over. I've only used 6, so I have 2 left over, which I'm going to have to, so 2 1s that I'm exploding back, and they will turn into tenths. So, and I have 2 of them, so that's going to give me 20 tenths plus the 4 that were already in that compartment. So once again, I need to look at that 24, and I want to see how much, and 24 can be divisible, or is divisible by 3. So I can go ahead and take all of that. Okay, and then I'm exploding once again. Nothing is going to be exploded back in this scenario, so that's fine. And then I'm going to, I know I can take all 6 here. Oops, I did it in blue again. All 6 here, and 6 can be divided into groups of 3. So now that I have my question set up, I can go ahead and say, well, what does it turn into? Okay, so 3 can be grouped into one group of 3. 27, let's say I'm not sure, so I'm going to look here. 27, and that can be grouped into, in the corners, we see 3 groups of 9. So I know 3 groups of 9 equals 27. Okay, 6, I can make 2 groups of 3. 24, let's say once again, I don't know. So I can go to here, and I see 3 groups of 8s on the corners. So I can put, so I know 3 times 8 equals 24, and then finally 6 can be grouped into 2, which makes sense. 3 times 2 equals 6. Okay, so now I know that my solution would be 192. Notice how I'm lining it up. Okay, hundreds, tens, ones. So 192 and 82 cents. Okay, now in the Google Slides, it'll also say up here about each friend will get, and it asks you to write in the solution. So you're going to also enter in the solution, because it was money, $192.82. Okay, so that would be one question complete. Okay, good work. All right, so let's erase that and do another example. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and erase this. Okay, and I'm going to leave that one sentence up there. All right, and now this question I'm dividing by 9. So I'm going to grab my 9 fractal strip if I struggle with my remembering my times tables, which is totally fine. Lots of people do, but you just need to keep working at it. All right, so in this case, I was given $562 from my lottery ticket, and 9 of my friends bought the lottery ticket with me. So I'm going to have to share it with 9 of my friends. Okay, so go ahead and draw your division. Ooh, that was very crooked. Okay, your big division symbol. And now we're going to finish that off with the fusion machine here. So I need a 100 section, a 10 section, a 1 section, and the 1 section right after that is going to come my decimal. Okay, and then I get my tenths and hundredths. Okay, So I can go ahead and I'm going to be dividing by 9, and I'm going to enter in my $562.50. All right, so I can go ahead and divide. Now 9, I can't, or sorry, 5, I can't put into a group of 9. So right away, that guy, the whole thing is going to be exploded back. So I'm going to explode back all 5. Okay, and I'm just going to cross that out. All right, so now with 56, maybe I struggle with my times table. It's hard for me to know with 56. So I'm going to look for a number that is less than, the biggest number that is less than 56. And I can see here this 54. Okay, so 54 is 6 groups of 9. Okay, so I'm going to take that, 54. And now I don't want to look back at my fractal multiplication thing again, since I already know that I figured out that it was 9 times 6 is 54, so I'm just going to write it up there. So you can do it as you go. Okay, so I took 54, so that leaves 2 left over that I need to explode back. Okay, so now I have 22. Okay, so now that one I know, because 9 times 2 is 18. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. So 18, whoops, I did it again. I guess you guys probably don't care, but I'm just going to change it anyways. Okay, so 18. All right, and in this case, I have not used 4. So I'm going to have to push back 4 to get 45. Okay, and let's say I'm not sure. So I go here and I look at 5 groups of 9 is 45. Okay, so I'm going to put that up here. So 5, and I'm going to take all of that 45. Okay, so, and I once again have nothing to explode back, and there's a 0 there. So I can go ahead and I'm going to just fill in my groups of, so that one's going to be 0. This guy, I can take 18 and I can put it into 2 groups of 9. Okay, so now I've grouped all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and write my solution, which is, once again, I'm going to line up. Oh, look at that, 6250, which happens to be, there we go. Great. All right, so I have 6250 that I can give to each of my friends. So I'm going to write that over here. 6250. All right. So I hope that makes sense. And once again, if you have any questions, please drop into our Google Meet and we can try and answer those. Okay, bye for now.